So my name is Eyal Schuster, and I'm the founder of Greenspot. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. So like anything else, any good thing, it happened by mistake. We developed a new building without any parking. Got nervous toward the end, and thought, I don't know even why we came to that idea, to request the city to provide us dedicated parking spots right next to the building. And the reason for them giving it to us had been the fact that we will electrify the spot. I had no idea on EV or charging station. It was just like an entrepreneurial need to come up with a solution to a problem. And that was the initiation of Greenspot. We requested that sidewalk permit for EV parking. They gave it to us, and we built it. And that's how it was the start. And it was way before there were electric cars. It was in 2014. So it was just as a security to people who might rent from us and need a parking spot. At least I could tell them that they can have an EV car and they have a parking spot next to their building. And this was the start. So we started as 2014, and we didn't see any utilization, any real movement over there until this year, basically. So beginning of 2022, we started to see more and more EV coming to this area. At the beginning, it was Tesla, because that was what it is. 2021, we saw more Teslas and so. And we were even told that the concentration of Tesla in the East Coast, the concentration around our area is the highest, because we had charging stations available in public sidewalks. So I guess it caused people in urban areas to own EV cars, because they could count on our charging stations. And really in 2022, we started to see a variety of cars like General Motors, Volvo, and other brands that we all know of, but they didn't have the EV side of things. And now we see a lot of different vehicles, EV vehicles are parking and utilizing. So we obviously saw a surge in utilization in the last couple of months. I would say in particular in the last 6 months. Uh, It's like I often think about that. I really don't know, what is there's no limit. It's like as deep as anything anyone can think about. We are expanding exponentially now in multifamily residential. So at the beginning, we thought that there will be a need in urban living, like urban buildings, like multifamily residential rental. In the last year or so, we found ourselves in many HOA building, like condo building, where we found a nice way to help them, support them, adapting to EV. The business model just makes sense for the entire ecosystem on the HOA side. On the rental side, we just installed in a 150 unit building in Englewood, New Jersey, which is not like a big metro area, but more of a suburban. But it's a garden style multifamily where they don't have parking within the structure. They park on, the parking lot. And we just installed 4 communal charging stations for them. And we see crazy utilization over there. So I don't know where is the limit. I mean, we are installing in office structures. We are installing in hospitality. We just installed the Holiday Inn, where travelers and guests are stopping for the night on Route 17, and they just need to charge their car. So they pick up that Holiday Inn because of the charging station that it offer. So to your question, I don't really know like where is the end of it. I mean, we obviously understanding, I think today we understand better than what we understood in 2014. At that time, it was still like a vague idea. But today, you know that most of us gonna drive EV, and you need to be able to charge it, and you're probably gonna charge it in the most convenient located place to you. We believe that there is still a huge room to grow, and we're basically in the run to grab land. That's how we see it. We just running around trying to put flags wherever we can, as quickly as we can, just to grab land. Sometimes I imagine that I'm on a horse in the 1700. Sometimes, but I'm not really. But I'm imagining that. Just putting the flags. I put the flag, and this is my territory. That's what you needed back then, and that's how it is today with the EV. So this is a very interesting question, and I can talk for a long time on it. But to make it short, the industry was originally or is still uh, um, running based on companies selling equipment, charging station equipment, and then providing the service to that charging stations. Because if you have a smart EV charging station, a charging station that is connected to the network, you need somebody to provide that service to you, and those companies providing that service. So they're basically selling you software and hardware. Now, who is you? You are a landlord. You are a landlord. And you're a landlord of a shopping center, you're a landlord of an hotel, you're a landlord of a multifamily residential, you are a landlord. And those landlords used to buy the equipment from the manufacturer and then paying monthly for the service. What happened over the years, because there were no cars, there were no EV cars, so there were no clients to sell them electricity to the landlords. The landlords, though, still needed to pay and maintain the equipment. And over time, it became more and more expensive to maintain the equipment without having anyone who charge. So what happened is many of those charging stations were neglected and out of order. So today there are different numbers, but to our estimation, almost 1/3 of the network is not operational. And many of the EV drivers, when you're gonna talk to them and ask them, what is your anxiety level to get to one of those charging stations? And it's gonna be measured high because many times it's just not working. You come there, you can recognize it on your app, but when you get to the port, it's not operational. Why? Because it's on a landlord property who is not really caring about it and is not up to paying now $500 to replace the modem, or $1,000 to replace the nozzle or the socket, because he did not sell $1,000 of electricity in the last 5 years. So why should he spend now $500 or $1,000 to replace a piece of it? So what we have done in Greenspot, at the beginning, we did not believe in that model. We did not believe in selling equipment or software. We just did not believe it. We came to that model from real estate perspective. Okay? We wanted to align our interests with the landlord. We wanted to be together with them and not to turn them into our clients, because we believe by aligning our forces with them, we can provide a better service for the EV drivers. And therefore, we developed a model that we call it, and the industry call it, own and operate. And we are basically signing a long-term agreement with the landlords. We are building all the infrastructure and maintaining it for the duration of the contract at no cost to the landlord. Now, on top of that, what we do, we provide a profit sharing to the landlord. So the landlord, from an expense line item, it turned into an income line item. He's not really in this business, but he just get another line of income. So we are disrupting that market not only by picking up the right location, because remember, we are from a real estate perspective. We are looking at the EV world from a real estate perspective. So we are picking up the location first. First is the location. We will not install in a location that does not generate utilization, meaning we will not pick up a location that it might be cheaper to install, but it's in -3 in the garage where no one will go there at night to charge. Okay, we will not do that. Even though it's cheaper to install and it's close to the power source, you will not find our charging station over there. On the contrary, you're going to find our charging stations right in your face. We like to be on the street, right on public street, where you access it quickly, you feel safe, it's conveniently located to your resident or work, and you can rely on that station to be working. So the fact that we in Greenspot do not make money unless the charging station is working, because that's actually our model. We need to sell energy in order to make money. We make sure that those stations are operable, that they are working. So when you get to them, we need to make sure that the port is good, that the charging station is on, and that you can support and fill up your battery whenever you want. So this is why we disrupt. We disrupt because we need to provide customer service all the time. Otherwise, we are not profitable. Where our competitors making money by just selling equipment and selling services. And services means software. We are making money by selling energy, and therefore everything needs to be working.
What is so exciting about this?
So first, I'm like a third generation in the automotive industry. My grandfather was a mechanic. My father was a mechanic, is a mechanic still. So I'm coming from like growing up in a garage. I grew up in a garage. That was my summer job. So when I saw the first EV car and I opened the hood and I could place luggage there, and there was no engine. And when later on I started to research and I saw that the car is really simple, I always remembered what was to fix a car, to fix an engine. It's like so many moving parts, so many problems were involved, so many rubbers and oil and filters. When you look at the EV car, it's not just, disrupting the automotive industry by manufacturing, it's also disrupted it by maintaining it. And I came to that realization from the maintenance perspective because I saw what it takes to maintain a car in my father's garage. So I was right away excited about EV cars. For me, it was a no-brainer because it's not really any new technology. It just was wrapped in a different way. And Tesla obviously broke the market through, like they were the penetrator into this market. And for me, it was like a no-brainer. I remember talking to my father and I told him, there are like less than 50 moving parts in this car. Like, how does it even make sense? And he says, I can't believe it. I remember this early conversation. And then he came back and said, wow, I'm in shock. Okay? Needless to say, he sold his garage. But it's just totally different. It's the same car that we know, but it's totally different piece of technology. So for me, my passion was first, I saw that product. Now, the byproduct of it, you can look at it as today, it consumes energy, it consumes kilowatt. So there were other way that we saw how gasoline was distributed through gas stations. So I thought immediately that it will not be distributed through gas stations anymore. It will be distributed in our place of living, of working, of shopping. So I was intrigued by that idea that I can have a private gas station almost everywhere I am. So this is a huge opportunity from a real estate perspective. It was an opportunity for me from a real estate perspective. And then I thought, a little bit later, that how we can become part of what we call the autonomous era, like how we can participate in that, because it seems like it's gonna go there. It's gonna go to where we will not own a car anymore. We just gonna consume mobility as a service. We just want to move from point A to point B. It doesn't really matter what's the ownership structure or how we do that, but just that we need to do that. So we thought right in very early stage in Greenspot, how we gonna become part of this autonomous ecosystem. And obviously, once we thought about it deeper, we realized that the whole real estate setup in an urban living gonna be reformulated based on the autonomous car. And one of the things that the autonomous car gonna need, based on what we believe, is a dock. Basically like a dock in a marina where you upload and offload people and goods from the boat, where you tie the boat to the dock. You will need, so to speak, to tie an autonomous car to a dock, so it will be a safe in and out from a car or a truck. Whether you upload packages or you load people, doesn't matter. You're gonna need a safe area for that. And then we said, okay, so why don't we just say that we are building the marinas of the future for autonomous car? And this is what we do basically. We are building those docks that hopefully we all gonna use safely down the line. Okay, it's gonna be electrified, and it's gonna be defined, and it's gonna be in areas where it's safe for people to just up on, up off, while the rest of the road is moving and the traffic is running and everything is floating. And we're just gonna be that harbor for safety and for hopefully autonomous car.